In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most kind. Good morning and have a nice day. Please keep smiling for life. We are reading Learner's Book 5. And our topic is the stone soup on page 28 to 31. And our objectives are to read the text with correct pronunciation, answer the comprehensive questions, identify the phrases, and use them in meaningful sentences. Students, look at this picture. There are two boys and a girl. And read the sentence. We are watching a movie. We are watching a movie. We is a subject. And are watching a movie is a predicate. And a sentence is always a combination of a subject and predicate. Now look at this picture and read the phrase. The car. The car. There are two verbs. It's a combination of two words. If there is a combination of two words, we call it a phrase. The car is speeding. There are two words, is and speeding. These words make sense but don't express a complete thought. So, is speeding is also a phrase. The car is a phrase and is speeding is also a phrase. Now look at this picture and read the sentence. The car is speeding. These words express a complete thought. So they make a sentence. Now there is a subject and there is a predicate. The car is speeding. It's a complete sentence. It's not a phrase like this. For example, is speeding is a combination of words, but it has no meaning. So we can say that is speeding is a phrase and the car is also a phrase. It's a number of two words, but it's a phrase because it has no meaning. It's not conveying any idea. Is it clear, students, that if there are two or three words, or if there is a combination of two or three words, but it's not conveying any idea, it's not a complete thought, so we can say that it's a phrase. But if there is a subject and a predicate, or you can say that if there is a subject, there is a verb, or there is an object, then we can say that it's a complete sentence that has a meaning. Students, let's learn about the phrases. Let's come to know about the use of phrases. First of all, we have to define what is a phrase. A phrase is a group of related words within a sentence. We can see that a phrase is a group of words within a sentence. It means a phrase is a combination or is a group of words that is used in a sentence. The group of words is used in a sentence. That is called a phrase. A phrase can be found at the beginning, middle, or end of a sentence. So we can say, reread it. A phrase can be found in the beginning, middle, or end of a sentence. Okay? Students, look at this example. I saw a tall girl. I saw a tall girl. Now you can notice that a tall girl is a combination Students, look at this example. You can see that there is a boy and there is a tall girl. I saw a tall girl. The boy is saying that I saw a tall girl. A tall girl. In this sentence, a tall girl is a phrase. It means it's a group of words. A phrase may not contain a subject or a verb or both. Okay? A phrase may not contain a subject. It means there is no subject or verb, or there is no subject-verb agreement in a phrase. A sentence may contain more than one phrase. In a sentence, we can use one or more than one phrases. Look at this example. A tall girl was standing near me. A tall girl is a combination, is a group of words. A tall girl is phrase number 1. Was standing is also a group of words. It's phrase number 2. And near me is also a group of words. And it's phrase number 3. Phrase 1, phrase 2, phrase 3. This sentence is a combination of 3 phrases. A tall girl was standing near me. Once again, look at the example. A tall girl. It's phrase number 1. Was standing. Phrase 2. Near me. Phrase 3. So this sentence is a combination of 3 phrases. So we can say that we can use more than one phrase in a sentence. Students, look at these examples. In the park. It's the phrase. Look at these examples. First one is in the park. The second one is in the east. Next one is under the tree. Then for 2 hours. At night. On the chair. These are the examples of phrases. These are the groups of words. For example, in the park, there are 3 words and it's a group of 3 words. That's a phrase. But students, we don't know who is in the park. But if we add Ali is playing in the park, then it will become a complete sentence with a subject and a predicate. Ali is playing in the park, but in the park alone is a phrase. Students, I hope that you can tell me the difference between a phrase and a sentence. Now we are going to read a story. It's an interesting story. I hope that you will enjoy it. Let's listen.
Stone soup. Once there was a young man traveling around the country selling goods. Times were very hard and every day he sold less and less, until he didn't have any money at all. And the same day that he ran out of money and food, he came across a small village. He thought that in the village he would find someone who would give him a bit of food. He knocked at the door of a pretty-looking house. A woman opened the door slightly. The young man asked the woman if she had a little food to spare for a weary, young traveler, but sadly the woman answered that she had no food at all. Curiously, the same thing happened at all the houses in the village. There was not even a crumb of bread left in the entire village. The young man was not discouraged, instead he came up with a plan. The young man found a wealthy-looking house in the center of the village. An elderly man answered the door. The young man asked him if he had a large pot of water that he could spare. The old man asked him what he wanted it for. The young man explained that he was so sad about the lack of food in the village that he was going to make a big pot of soup for all the villagers from a special stone he had found on his travels. The old man gave the young man a large pot of water and a stirring spoon and helped him build a big fire next to his house. The young man took a smooth stone out of his bag and put it in the pot of water. As he stirred the water, the young man mentioned to the old man that the magic soup was always better with a little onion and head of cabbage to extra flavor. So the old man went into the house and returned with a bag of onion and head of cabbage. A neighbor who was putting out her washing smelled the onions and the cabbage cooking. She went to the old man's house where she was told about the special soup made of stone. The young man who was stirring the soup mentioned that the soup was always very good, but that a little bit of meat, perhaps a carrot and some potatoes would add some extra flavor. So the woman went into her house and returned with a chunk of meat, a bunch of carrots and a sack of potatoes. A little girl who was playing in the street smelled the soup and became curious about the smell. She went to the old man's house. The young man stirred the soup and mentioned to the girl that the magic soup was always very good, but it would be even better with a few beans and a pinch of salt and pepper. So the girl ran into her house and returned with a bowl of beans and some salt and pepper and added them to the pot of soup. The woman from the first house, where the young man had asked for food, was in her garden collecting some herbs and mushrooms. She smelt the soup and became curious about the smell. So, she walked down the lane to the old man's house. The young man stirred the soup some more and mentioned that the magic soup was always very good, but that a few mushrooms and some herbs from her basket would add even more flavor. The woman gladly added her ingredients to the soup. In a while the soup was cooked and everyone had a bowl of delicious stone soup. No one could believe that such a flavorsome soup could be made from just a stone. The young man served another bowl of soup and smiled to himself.
Students, I hope that you have enjoyed the story. It was really an amazing story with moral values. Now it's your homework. You will write the answer of this question. What ingredients did the people give the young man for the stone soup? You will write the names of the ingredients. And the second question is, identify and use the phrases in meaningful sentences. You will identify the phrases and use them in meaningful sentences. It's your home task. I hope that you will enjoy your home task. Thank you. Allah Hafiz and take care.